Hello guys, welcome to our class of number 6. And what we had on our last class is basically we have the gun with the aiming in the middle. We can move around, we can move with our gun. So what I'm planning to do today is make our gun to shoot some kind of bullet, I don't know, laser, projectile. You can call it whatever you want, but basically right now our gun is not actually doing anything, and I really want it to shoot something so we can use it as a gun. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much what we are going to be doing today. So first of all, what we need to do in order to start actually to make our gun to shoot something is we need to have a kind of a game object that will be our bullet. So we're going to need to create a projectile game object, and then we are going to make a script that will make this projectile, this bullet, to go forward, and then we can handle later this gun with a hitting point in an enemy or some kind of something like this. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today. So first of all, let's go right here. We don't have actually any folder to save any kind of prefab, and that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to need actually. A prefab is a game object that we can save as a file, and then we can create in Unity we'll say instantiate. We can instantiate in the map, and we can instantiate multiple times. So we can have multiple game objects with the same template. So this template we call prefab. So that's what we're going to be using to instantiate our bullet. We're going to need to have a prefab of our bullet, and then with this prefab we can create this game object from the script. So here on asset, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm gonna call it prefab. All right, I'm gonna double click this folder and then create another folder called bullet. Create folder bullet. Okay, so in order to create the prefab, we need first to have the game object in the hierarchy. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to go here in game object, 3D object, and then sphere. And I'm gonna call it bullet. And here we have this sphere in the scene, and that's going to be our bullet. You can see it's too big, so basically what I'm going to do is just make it kind of a size of a bullet, to be honest, something like this. I think it's cool. And then after I have this bullet, I will drag and drop into the folder bullet inside of prefab, and then you can delete this one. So basically what you can do right now is to create multiple game objects with the same template. And the thing is, if I change the prefab, all game object that uses this prefab as a template will be changed as well. So it's a very fast way to develop things inside of the game, because you can now have multiple game objects that kind of use the same template. And then if you change the template, it will change all those game objects. So it's a fast way to develop a game, and and have multiple copies of the same game object. Okay, so yeah, that's basically our bullet. We're going to change some stuff later in this bullet, but right now what I'm going to do is actually to create a new script. And this script actually, before we create the script, one thing that we need to do is go to main camera, bitgun, and then inside of the bitgun, with the bitgun selected, I'm gonna go here and create empty. And this I'm gonna call bullet spawn. So this is the place where the bullet will be created. Not here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this bullet spawn to the end of the gun in a place that makes sense to the bullet to live. Someplace like here. Okay, let me see if that makes sense. Maybe more here. Okay, so I guess that makes sense. And that basically I'm gonna use this game object as a reference to spawn bullets around when I'm shooting them, right? So that's what we're going to use. So here on script, after we have our bullet spawn, here in script, I'm going to create new C# script, and I'm gonna call it gun controller. Right, with this gun controller, I have them right here. So with this gun controller, we are going to need some variables. We're going to need the prefab information and also the position information. So I'm gonna add two variables, public. First one, the prefab. So prefab is a game object. Bullet prefab. And then the transform is the position. So transform. That we're going to use the game object that we created before in the end of the gun. So we're gonna use as a reference that one. So bullet spawn. Okay, so yeah, basically we have these two variables, and that's all. Basically all we need to create one bullet. It's not gonna work the way that we expect, but it's gonna work. So here on update, what I'm going to say is if I press get mouse button, and then I can have 0. So if I have 0, like if I click on the mouse button, what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to create a new game object called bullet, and this new game object will be a instantiate of a prefab. The prefab is bullet prefab, and then the position is going to be bullet spawn position, and then the rotation bullet spawn rotation. Okay, so basically what we are doing right here, this instantiate function requires a prefab, a position, and a rotation. We're going to use the prefab information that we have to put in the prefab, and then the bullet spawn to give the position and also gives the rotation. So we basically need only two variables to complete this one, but there are three informations: the prefab template, the position, and also the rotation. All right. Once we do this, we basically have the bullet working. Of course, I need to apply the script. So I'm going to go here to bitgun, and I'm going to apply the script to bitgun. And then I'm going to link the bullet spawn to the bullet spawn information, and then the bullet prefab to the prefab information. Once I have this, my gun should be working already. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the game. Okay, you see this? See, almost like a painting gun. It's pretty fun, isn't it? It's like a 3D painting tool. Awesome. That's not actually what we want, right? Like, we don't want this. Although it's pretty cool, but that's not what we want. First of all, I'm going to go back to the script, and I'm just going to change input get mouse button down. Okay, so it's only going to instantiate when I put mouse button down. So just gonna fix this. So you only instantiate only once per click, basically. So yeah, so I'm putting this. All right. Another thing that I want it to change, I want it to have gravity and other physical stuff. And we don't need to change anything from script to do it. We're just gonna go and click on the bullet prefab. So bullet prefab, you're going to double click. It's gonna open the prefab, And here in the prefab, we're gonna add component and we're gonna put rigid body. So that's the physical part. So with rigid body, if we go back to the game and shoot, you will have something like this. Okay, we shoot and it falls, right? But I want it to go forward. Yeah, that's what we basically what we want. So I'm gonna go back right here, and here I'm going to give a direction for it. So bullet, what I just picked, get component rigid body. So basically I'm picking the rigid body component from the bullet. I'm going to add force to it. Inside of it, I need to put the direction and a force mode. The direction is going to basically be transform.forward. Actually, what we can do is create a new direction variable right here. So vector 3 direction, and it's going to be equal to transform forward. That's the direction, because that's forward from the bullet spawn that we have, from the gun actually. So I'm gonna add a force in a direction, and the force mode is going to be impulse. So that's basically one hit, so one big punch in the bullet that is gonna make it go forward that direction. So if I save it right now, we have this. It's going forward, just not with very strong, so it's not actually looking good. So what we can do in order to control it is to go here on the variable and create a new variable called force. So a new variable, float variable called force equals to 10. And then on the direction, I'm going to multiply this times force. So forward times force. And then I can control how strong actually goes forward with the force. So if I save it right now, let's see if 10 is a good number. We can always change that. Okay, you see that 10 is way stronger, but I guess I need more. So I'm going to change right here from 10 to 100 and see how it goes. Okay, now it looks like a bullet. Okay, that's cool. Only one thing that I want to change. I want to make the bullet looks cooler. It doesn't look cooler, it looks gray. I really want it to look like a laser or something like this. So first of all, in order to change the graphical part of the bullet, we're gonna need to do some stuff. First, we're gonna need to do a material to change the color of the bullet. And then later, we are going to add trail to the bullet and then change a little things there to make sure that it looks cool. Okay, so in the bullet folder, I'm going to create a new material. I'm gonna call it bullet. This material shader needs to be equal to unlit color, and then I'm gonna you can put any color. I'm gonna put red, for example, and then here on the bullet I'm gonna drag and drop this to the bullet. Right now, if I play the game, our bullet will have a different color. See, right now it's red and it's unlit, so it means that it doesn't kind of have its own lighting. Okay, but it's still kind of hard to see where it's going. So what I'm going to do right now is to add trails to the bullet. In order to add trails to the bullet, I will need to open the bullet, the prefab. So I'm gonna double click on it. With the bullet open, I'm gonna go here to add component and then type trail. We're gonna add this trail renderer right here. Here on the trail renderer, if we play the game again, you will see that it will be white and very, very thick. So if we play it again, we're gonna have something like this. See? Very, very thick, right? That's not basically what we want. We want it to be kind of the same color as our bullet. So first of all, we are going to need to change some different stuff right here. So basically, what I wanted to change is the color. So the color will be, it will be kind of, let me take a look on it. We can actually add a new material to it. So right now it doesn't have a new material. We can put bullet. So it does the same material as the bullet. So if we play the game again, we will have it red. See? Same color as our bullet. Basically, what I want is to make this very, very thinner than it is. So this line right here, the width, you can change from 1 to less than 1 and see which one looks better for you. Okay, I really actually want it more thinner. Okay, I guess that's cool. And you see right now that if I shoot this, the trail lasts a long time. I don't really want that long, so I'm going to change that. Here on time, I'm going to change from 5 to 0.1 and save. And go back to the game and see how it goes. See? And I can actually make, I think it's too thinner for me, so I'm going to make it a little bit higher right here. I guess that's cool. It's almost the same size as the bullet, so I guess that's cool. One thing that we can add though is just like an ending. So here, if I click on the ending right here, I'm adding a new keyframe and I can basically do like this. So it means that it's going to make it thinner after some time, something like this. You see, it looks more kind of a bullet now. See? Alright, I think that looks cool. Another thing that we can do if we want is to change the color. So that's the color. You can basically change how it looks over time. So here in the alpha, you can make it goes kind of a transparent. So if we play the game with transparent, we have something like this. Doesn't make a lot of difference just because it's very fast. But anyway, you can play with this in any kind of way you want. I'm gonna go back there and put again the same color that it was before. Alright, so yeah, that's basically this for the trail. Let's go back. And now, if you take a closer look, I just need to adjust some very, very small detailed things right here. If I shoot in the sky, you see that the bullet does not go where I am aiming at. It goes a little bit to the left. So I will need to change the angle of the pit gun right here just to make sure that it goes to the part that to the center of the screen where my aiming is. So let's see. You see, still on left. I'm gonna go more left. So you just need to basically be testing and changing your gun just until you reach a point. You see, almost in the same place, right? You just have a little bit of gravity. Just need to go closer. I guess more up. There. It doesn't need to be exactly the same place, but if it looks similar, I think that's close enough, I guess. Okay, just so we can aim and stuff. It's not gonna be perfect because you have gravity, and basically it does not go exactly the place that we want. So just a little bit more. But you can play with it and make it perfect. Take your time. Alright, so yeah, that's our gun. We can change the color in any way you want. That basically changing here. We can put purple. It's gonna change the trail as they have the same kind of material. So it's your choice. I think actually red, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna leave it at red. Alright, so yeah, that's it. We have our gun. It's actually producing bullets. And then it's very easy for us later to make, we kill something or damage something or broke something with that bullet because we already have the object with it. So imagine that we have aliens or zombies. We can use that stuff to protect ourselves from that enemies. And that's what actually we're going to be doing on the next classes. So thank you guys very much for this class and see you on the next class. Bye bye.